For the first time, let me now unveil Xbox.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. Xbox stepped on a rake again. For the umpteenth time in the past decade, Microsoft has found itself on the wrong end of bad news. And as usual, it's self-inflicted. Just as Team Green was starting to gather some positive momentum, Fallout is the biggest show on TV, boosting all the Fallout games along with it, the upcoming launch of Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and that may be the very kind of prestige, single-player, narrative-driven, third-person action-adventure that the brand has long lacked.
Would you give your life for these outsiders?
The next Xbox Showcase was also announced for June 9th, where we might finally see the long-anticipated next entry in the Gears of War series, the next entry in Call of Duty, and more. Xbox brass torched the morale of customers and quite possibly its own developers alike by announcing the closure of 3 studios, Tango Gameworks, Arcane Austin, and Alpha Dog, and the consolidation of a 4th, Roundhouse. Fans were quick to point back to recent and now hypocritical seeming quotes from Xbox executives, such as marketing boss Aaron Greenberg saying last year that just axed developer Tango Gameworks' Hi-Fi Rush was, quote, a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. And in the 2021 Xbox documentary Power On, Sarah Bond said the leadership team asked themselves how to learn from and not repeat the same mistake of acquiring a studio, in this case, original Fable developer Lionhead, only to later shut them down.
Yeah, well done.
And 1 year ago, in the wake of Redfall's disastrous launch, Xbox boss Phil Spencer said, quote, one thing I won't do is push against the creative aspirations of our teams. When a team like Rare wants to do Sea of Thieves, when a team like Obsidian wants to do Grounded, when Tango Gameworks wants to do Hi-Fi Rush, when everyone thought they were probably doing The Evil Within 3, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their ability, to push their aspirations, end quote.
Get him!
At best, those once reassuring quotes ring hollow today. At worst, they're outright lies. We've come a long way from Xbox fans once proudly decreeing, "In Phil we trust," and posting photoshopped Dark Knight-esque "I believe in Phil Spencer" buttons online. Awfully, Bloomberg reports that Microsoft might not be done making cuts, so this may very well get worse before it gets better. For developers, that would mean further job losses. And for gamers, that might mean another possible Xbox Game Pass Ultimate price increase. So how did we get here? Why can't Xbox stop tripping over its own 2 feet? And with the Xbox organization growing so massive over the past half-decade, and its reach extending not just to consoles, but to any device capable of playing video games, can the soul of Xbox even be saved? I spoke to 2 former longtime Xbox employees separately, and both lamented the current state of the brand. One told me prior to this week's awful studio closure news, quote, I had lengthy conversations with a bunch of Xbox founders, and we all came to the same conclusion. It's no longer Xbox, but Microsoft Gaming. Ouch. The other chatted with me at length after the Bethesda bloodbath, and believes Xbox is now too big to quickly or easily get its house in order. Quote, there is just too much surface area. You have effectively 3 huge companies at play, and Microsoft never really finished the integration with Bethesda. And Activision is like 3 times the size Xbox was. They added, quote, Xbox 360 launched with a few hundred people. Last I heard, Xbox is now almost 30,000 people. And that growth has led to, in the opinion of the Xbox veteran I spoke to, increased oversight and meddling from further up the Microsoft food chain. Quote, the reason this seems so inconsistent with previous Xbox leadership team statements is that these decisions probably aren't being made by Phil. This is all getting dictated by Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and Microsoft CFO Amy Hood, and it all stems from the Activision acquisition, end quote. The long-tenured ex-Xboxer continued, quote, "The situation Xbox was in when they made this call was much different. They couldn't keep consoles in stock, making money hand over fist with Game Pass growth. The Activision acquisition seemed like a no-brainer. Now console sales are down, post-COVID recession, Game Pass slowing. The acquisition was more costly and time-consuming than anyone expected. And the focus on fighting the FTC probably cost them time they would have spent thinking through the people and studio implications. I 100% believe this is a board-level decision. Xbox was a huge profit center, so Satya approved a huge merger. Now games are slowing and Microsoft's stock is skyrocketing, and there is no way Satya is going to let Xbox drag it down. This is all my opinion, of course, but I'm fairly certain these are not decisions being made only by Xbox leadership," end quote. That's not to absolve Spencer for his role in all of this, unlike the tone-deaf, "won't someone think of all the multimillionaire executives" response of former Xbox higher-up Mike Ibarra. Spencer is, after all, the person in charge of the entire organization. The buck stops with him. The Bethesda and Activision Blizzard acquisitions happened on his watch. As such, he is no more shielded from criticism for being, by most accounts, including my own for the record, a very nice guy, than the star professional athlete is for underperforming on the field or court, despite regularly signing autographs for kids before games. But no matter who's to blame for the weight of Activision Blizzard seemingly tipping Xbox's scales out of balance, it's now fair to wonder if and how Spencer can save Xbox's soul. Is Xbox a gaming brand that means anything to gamers anymore? Can it stand toe-to-toe with Sony and Nintendo? And if the answer to those questions is yes, then what defines Xbox? Is it Xbox Game Pass? Is it big exclusive franchises like Halo, Forza, Gears of War, Fable, and maybe, should they end up being exclusive, The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Doom? Is it gaming anywhere seamlessly through PC, mobile, console, cloud, and handheld support that's invisible to the end user? Can it be all of these? Should it be all of these, or does Xbox then become a jack of all trades, master of none? After all, when you think of either PlayStation or Nintendo, you arguably think of one thing and one thing alone: consistently incredible exclusive games. That's it.
We could have killed you. Maybe you should have.
If the board is pushing Xbox in this direction, will Spencer push back? These decisions, no matter who's making them, are costing Xbox an incredible amount of both talent and community trust. Spencer knows that, and it's up to him to fix it. To this point, I would have argued that up until this past week, Spencer's 10-year term as head of Xbox could be summed up as such: gamer-first initiatives like backwards compatibility, accessibility, cross-play, and Xbox Game Pass. But he has yet to deliver either the single breakthrough blockbuster game that captures the zeitgeist, or the steady flow of high-quality exclusive games that breed loyalty to a platform. Now, though, he will likely be remembered primarily by how he handles this moment. Can he organize a 5-company monolith, Xbox, Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, and King, into a single entity that makes both gamers and shareholders happy? Is that even possible? If he can't, the Activision Blizzard King acquisition may prove to be more trouble than it's worth.